All right, quick little video for all the new Tricer gear that I got, just to kind of give you my initial thoughts. First, we've got the Tricer 360, the Tricer BP fluid head, and then the Tricer Go adapter. Starting from the top, Tricer Go adapter. This allows you to, instead of having to twist the knob and take something off every time, so binos or spotter, and then twist it back on. It's just a quick boom, boom, and the binocular spotter will come out. It's actually pretty nice. I guess the other little piece of gear was the bino adapter ring. This one's specifically for the NLs. Clips in, lock it down, and you're golden. Just a couple things. The Tricer, just to go over the Tricer 360 part real quick. So this is basically a micro panning tool that you turn the knob and then it turns the glass, only the panning piece of it. It's definitely smoother than, panning by hand. This is still pretty smooth, but it is actually a little bit smoother using the knob. Don't know if it's a sure enough game changer, but it does work pretty well. Overall fluidity of the head, I don't notice a huge difference between this and the Sarui head, which is the VA5, VA5. The fluidity, I'd say, is equal between the two. The one thing that I do like about the Sarui that I wish the Tricer had is on the Sarui, it has like a spring back, which is hard to see in the video, but especially with no weight on it, it springs back into place. It's like a preloaded position where it'll return almost to zero, which is really nice. This does not do that. So if you tilt it down, it stays down instead of coming back up, which I guess is a good and a bad thing. On that same note, kind of one of the main reasons that we switched was because to take these off quickly, to put the spotter on quickly, which I will need to get another ARCA adapter plate for this, because this ARCA Swiss style base is significantly different in size than this. So I'll get one of those, no big deal. But that way it'll fit in here tight. Right now it's kind of loose, but it'll work for purposes of showing the video. Flip it around the other way. So one thing that's nice about this one is you can set the tension on this knob, the vertical tension, where it's basically locked in place. Oh, the other thing that's neat is this extendable handle. It's actually pretty handy. But on this, with the heavy spotter, it's nice because you can tilt it back. Oh, I gotta tighten it up just a hair. You gotta tighten it up most of the way, but you can tilt it back and it stays. You can tilt it forward and it stays. Again, the little shifting is because the ARCA Swiss plate down here is not quite big enough for the Tricer Go adapter, so I'll get another ARCA plate. But I like that you can do this and move it around and it basically stays still. And then the other thing that I'm really looking forward to for the spotter is this micro panning, because I think that will help a ton with the spotter, especially if you're trying to digiscope, trying to follow deer, elk, whatever. In regards to the Sarui head and how it all works with this stuff, it will work with the bino adapter, but you have to slide it in from the back. You can't set it in from the top, so you have to slide it in from the back, and then you'll just tighten this little knob here. Tighten that down, it clamps on, you're solid. So that works decent, but you are fiddling with this little tiny knob versus something that's a lot easier to get to on the Tricer Go adapter. And this knob here adjusts this tiny little metal piece right there. And there is basically it's gonna fit one Arca plate size and that's it. It's not gonna fit multiple plates. And it seems to me like the Arca plates are different between different manufacturers. So it's gonna be kind of hard to set that where it's gonna fit a wide array of things. The other thing that's nice about the Tricer Go adapter is I don't have it on here now, but I have one coming, is I can put an Arca rail on my gun. It will snap in, and it needs to be able to snap in from the top because trying to slide it in is going to be nearly impossible. So it'll snap in from the top, lock it down, and then that will become a bipod or whatever you want to call it for being able to shoot off of. And it'll be rock steady, especially in the standing position. So that's also super nice. Let's see. Oh, another thing on the bino clamp, fits in the harness perfect. So that is really nice. Quick thing too, I've got the 360 mounted underneath the head. You could mount it on top, but when you do that, there's a bunch of just knobs and everything all together. Didn't really like that, so I put it on the bottom. Plus on the bottom is going to keep weight off the head, which should help out with the spotter, since the spotter is pretty heavy. In a nutshell, I think that's pretty much it. I would say the Tricer Go is probably a must, especially if you're going to do the bino clamp. I would say switching between all this is just significantly easier than trying to do it on the Sarui head, just straight from the manufacturer. The 360 is not a must. It might be something that's kind of nice to have, but it's not cheap. I think it's $160 maybe. I would say you're fine to do without that for now. And then the head itself, is it worth 3 times as much as the Sarui? I mean, I've only had this thing for a day, but I would say probably not. Especially once you get this little Tricer Go adapter, you can just put that on the Sarui and then you're good to go, and you can put in whatever bino, spotter, whatever you need. Yeah, other than that, I think that's it. I do like it all, but I would say that the number 1 and number 2 pieces are going to be the bino clamp and the Tricer Go adapter. The rest of it is, if you want to upgrade later, great. If you don't, I think you could probably stick with the Sarui stuff and be just fine as well. Like and subscribe. 2 more quick notes I forgot to add in. One, we've always ran the Outdoorsman's. This is on the little Sarui adapter plate. So if you didn't want to upgrade to the bino clamp, which I do recommend, but if you didn't want to, this thing will go into the Tricer Go, and then you could just maintain your same setup. And the only new piece you would need would be the Tricer Go to be able to swap from, binos and then into the spotter. And then it just clips in. The other thing I mentioned on the price between the two, since this one, the Tricer, is significantly more expensive than the Sarui. The one thing that could be the game changer between the two, that's probably worth it, in my opinion, I guess, just at least for somebody to have it, is that when the spotter is on here, that you can lock it into place at an angle, up, down, whatever. It locks, and then you can still move it. So if you're trying to follow something, or if you just got to move it like just a hair, versus on the Sarui, when it's either tight with the spotter anyways, it's either tight or you're scanning. And when it's tight, you can't adjust it. You can't do a little micro tilt or micro pan or whatever to try to follow something or just move it over if the game is up in the kind of top left corner. That's kind of annoying with the Swaro, which is basically the main reason that I ended up buying the Tricer versus the Surui. So I do think that it'll probably be worth it in regards to the spotter. Just glassing, I don't think there's going to be hardly any difference between this head and this head. But with the spotter, I do think there will be a significant difference.